and then produce laws accordingly. So let me give you some laws that we could introduce to tackle the Islamist problem across Western Europe. Firstly, reintroduce the law of banishment, to expel someone from the realm, to kick someone out of the country, to de-citizenize those who are Islamists. Take away the passport of Anjem Choudhury and make him a person non grata in the UK, a person unwelcome in the UK, and do the same with all of his little group and all of his followers. Take away their citizenship, remove them from the idea of being Britain, cast them out of the country with no right of return. Yes, that breaks international law, but who cares? The institutions upholding international law are themselves morally bankrupt. So let's just tear up the treaty that says that we can't de-citizenize Anjem Choudhury and his ilk. The second law that we need to introduce. One second. Bloodfire, could you take this conversation?
Oh, I just moved.
Please. So the second law that we need to introduce is the law of the outlaw. The law of the outlaw. What is an outlaw? An outlaw, when we think of it culturally, as a cowboy, they were never outlaws. An outlaw is when someone is declared to be outside of the protection of the law. That their life becomes forfeit, their property becomes forfeit, everything they own becomes forfeit, up for grabs. Anyone can do anything to them that they like with no consequence. We should introduce the concept of the outlaw back into European civilization and declare the Islamists, Anjem Choudhury and his ilk, to be outlaws, which means that you can do anything to them and the police and the courts won't touch you. With those two laws, the British people, the French people, the Spanish people and the German people will deal with the Islamists within 5 years.
Forget about the Portuguese.
That's what we'll do. We need to get tough with the Islamists because the liberals can't get tough with Islamists. Because the liberals are bound to concepts and ideas that make them weak. But we as Christians are not. The answer that we are looking for is the rediscovery of our Christian identity. So reject liberalism, embrace an impassioned, empowered, confident, strong Christian identity, pass laws accordingly, and destroy the Islamist movement by creating the socio-economic and political realities that would make their very survival in Europe impossible. Any questions?
He's got a question, Bob.
So you speak on behalf of the majority of Christians, do you?
I speak on behalf of a growing number of Christians that are tired of the failures of people like you.
What percentage of Christians would you say you speak for?
Those Christians who believe.
No, I ask you a number. A number. Is it 5%? Is it 2%?
Who believe
or is
that
1%?
Christians shouldn't be
Is it
doormats.
1%?
Those Christians who believe that it's time to start standing up for our brothers and sisters. Those Christians who believe that it's time to start standing up for Islamists.
By doing what? Standing up? What
against Islamists.
What do you mean standing up?
Kind of heckler
Standing up for what?
nothing.
Standing up, well, you're gonna get violent
Nothing.
in the name of the God of
This
life.
kind of
standing up?
moral virtuing
Standing up,
hypocrisy
cut, sir, cut.
that we
It's
see
not
by
even plugged
liberal
in.
progressives like him are the
fucking Al
very
Jazeera over
reason why Anjem Chowdhury and his ilk are able to kill children in stadiums in Manchester. This man is the very reason, and his ilk, the very reason why Islamists have taken root in the Muslim community.
I was
way
taking on
to
the
defeat
Islamists
Islamists
on behalf of
is
liberal
to
values
stand up to
15
them,
years ago,
not
you fucking
to
toss
cower to
pot.
them. And too many of us
I can say
have
that
been
because I'm not
cowering
bound
to
by
them
some
because
mosaic
we believe in a liberal
definition of
progressive
morality.
nonsense.
I believe in robust free
We
speech.
believe in the ideas of a liberal culture
But this standing up for
that is
Christianity
killing itself, ladies and gentlemen. Now, any other questions?
What do you mean standing up for
Any other
Jesus?
questions?
Standing up for Jesus. You're already standing up, you idiot.
So the question,
You didn't answer my last
question
question.
is,
What's the question, Bob?
the question is, and I'm going to ask you all to spread out.
Yeah, spread out,
because
spread
the
out.
police will come
All
and
right,
shut
so
me down
Jesus
in the
won't save you
Spread
from
out.
COVID-19.
Spread out. Spread
Spread out,
out.
spread out.
Please.
All right.
No one's
Bob.
close to you, my friend.
So-
You smell.
You're
You smell.
next to one another. So the question is, are there worse things in our society than Islam?
Yeah,
It's a good question.
Good question.
Christian, he's full of hatred.
Because, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
those on the right of politics that talk about Islamization
Yeah.
are silent about sexualization that abuses children. They're silent about the kind of liberalization that creates a kind of economy that drives people into poverty. They're silent about the many other kinds of isms that are destroying our society, like rampant divorce and the destruction of the family, like
the disruption of the
abortions.
family. Oh, the nuclear
Christians.
family. You've got to have a
We
perfect
have
father,
to offer
perfect wife,
a
and
better
perfect children. It's not a
culture
family.
to all of these things.
But Jesus never got married.
You can rant about
And
Islamization,
when they come to his mother,
but you need to
well,
rant,
we're
you
unsure
need
the
to
connection
stand
between
up
Jesus and his
against
mother.
liberalization. You've got to stand up against sexualization. You've got to
this
offer
idea
a
that
culture
Christianity is about
that is
family values, I
life-giving,
don't think so.
not life-taking.
The builder.
And right
We have
now,
a guy here
we
that
have a
doesn't agree with
culture
you
that is
already.
Have a proper
life-taking.
father.
Any
This guy
other
doesn't agree with you
questions?
already.
Jesus was a bastard. He didn't have a proper father.
Yes.
Any other
Mr.
questions?
Bob the liar.
Okay.
Okay.
So in that case, ladies and
In
gentlemen,
that case, now what?
I'd like to
There
talk
you go.
about.
This guy's not agreeing with you.
Oh,
right here, right
we're
now.
gonna talk about a
You can't
different
even
topic.
answer him. He's
Now you
answering
do
you.
No, he
find
knows all the
from
answers.
time
He's
to
in direct
time
communication with
that you
God.
I see,
find
he
these
knows
useless hecklers. They can never speak for themselves. They
I'm
only
speaking for my
come-
fucking self,
They
you
only
idiot.
come and heckle other people. Because
That's what Speaker's
they're
Corner's
parasites.
about. Maybe
They're
if you'd been
parasites
heckled when you were
in
younger,
the way that they go about doing their business. They've got nothing positive to add to
I
the
have.
discussion.
I am positive about
No
liberal
alternative.
values. But he doesn't want to debate me
But
on
all
liberal
they wanna
values,
do
which he's
is
using
shout
and
and
abusing
scream.
down here today.
So,
Like
ladies
freedom
and
of
gentlemen,
speech.